The billionaires have fallen, the fans have won, the European Super League is no more. Hey guys, Fletch here, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another Fletch Talks video. This has been an insane night, hasn't it? This has just been truly an insane night. It's been a crazy 48 hours of just absolute chaos, but finally there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel, because the European Super League is seemingly no more, at least from an English team's point of view, at least from the Premier League, as tonight all 6 English Premier League teams have all performed a U-turn and have withdrawn from this proposed European Super League. Before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated, of course. But for now, let's get back to talking about what a crazy night that this has been, as the famous Kiss song goes. Like I say, man, this night has been insane. It began with Chelsea reportedly pulling the parachute on this, following the backlash from fans, and they seemed to cave in and cracks began to show, and there were rumours flying around all day that one or two teams, particularly from England, were on the verge of backing out. It came to that Chelsea were one of those teams. Immediately following the news that Chelsea were leaving, Manchester City immediately followed suit by pulling out 2. Then all night, things and rumours were coming out all over the place, left, right and centre. It was truly absolutely crazy. You know, you had Ed Woodward resigning amongst everything, the Manchester United chairman, of course, and then a few hours later, the news broke that we were all waiting for. The news eventually hit, and it was confirmed that all English clubs have now backed out of, or withdrawn, or whatever you want to call it, of the European Super League. They are no longer involved with this scheme, this plan, which, let's face it, now probably means that it's pretty much dead and buried, at least for now. It wouldn't surprise me if they try and resurrect this kind of thing once again in many years' time. Obviously, when the news broke, I put out a video, as did many others, and we basically called this the death of football. We basically said that football, if this thing is to go ahead, would be dead and buried. It will be gone. Our game would cease to exist, basically. And in 48 hours, fans, pundits, journalists, players, managers, and everybody in between have basically fought against the billionaires, the bad guys, to really resurrect this and stop this from happening, and fair play. And look, these owners, they eventually saw the light. That is the tiny, I always try and find the positives in things, and that is the tiniest positive light that I can find in this. And, you know, they only really found the light by being under such high, intense amounts of backlash from fans, pundits, players, managers and journalists alike. Performing a U-turn on this was the right call in the end. We can all agree on that, but Jesus Christ, it took a while to get there, and really shouldn't have even had to have been done in the first place, because this scheme should never have got past discussion stages. You know, they didn't really consider everything. I think they underestimated the power of the fans, and of obviously the players' backlash as well, and the managers. They need shouting out as well, because they've done a hell of a lot. Jordan Henderson, Marcus Rashford in particular, have done so much, and it's just snowballed from there. Everybody, including, you know, videos like this, it may only seem like a small drop in the ocean, but it still contributed to a major problem that we were facing. And, you know, like I say, they reluctantly seem to agree to this. Once one team fell, they all kind of fell. You can tell this particularly from Liverpool, because it was the most pathetic, and just simply pathetic. It was the most pathetic response and statement imaginable. from Liverpool in particular, a seemingly very reluctant response to being out of the Super League. Not even an apology to the fans and to everybody that was affected by this for putting them through this. This was simply a response that said, Liverpool are out, thank you for, or not even thank you, they simply said Liverpool are out after careful consideration from what everybody's had to say. No apology whatsoever. At least if you go and find Arsenal's response, Arsenal's statement on its face seemed more genuine and certainly was worded in a more apologetic way. Whether those words hold any weight, whether there was any meaning behind those words or not is another question, but at least it was a lot better than the Liverpool statement that they put out. And, you know, coming from the so-called ringleaders of this kind of plan, particularly from the English Premier League's point of view, I kind of get it. I kind of get why they were so reluctant about it, because I don't think they wanted to back out. But again, another story for another day. They've eventually backed out. They've eventually pulled the parachute. That's all we could have asked for. And now there's going to be some huge days ahead for football regardless. Like I say, truly pathetic from the owners. Truly pathetic from Liverpool in particular for their response to this whole thing. Seemingly sour over this whole backlash that they received. A number of supporters are calling for their owners to go. FSG, out. Glazers, out. I mean, they've been saying that for a while, I guess, but, you know, even more so now. Kroenke, out again. Another one that they wanted to get out for some time, and now they have even more ammunition to suggest that that should be the case. Daniel Levy, out, and so on and so forth. And rightfully so, because these people all need to be punished in one way or another after what they've attempted to do to our game, our league, our football. How can you trust these guys again? You simply can't. How can they themselves have the decency and pride of running our football clubs, what we pride ourselves on, our values and everything that goes along with that, when they attempted to screw over the lifeblood of a club, the heart, the soul of the club, the fans? It's truly pathetic. And again, as a Liverpool fan, we are done with FSG. We want them out of our club for what they've attempted to do here and how they've attempted to use their power of money to influence our game. American owners come in to try and influence an English game. Truly, truly horrifying, truly horrendous, truly absolutely disgusting, when money was, of course, the main motivation and incentive behind it. Going forward, plans need to be put in motion to give the fans the majority of power of these football clubs that they deserve within their football clubs. And of course, there are other things that need to be addressed, of course. The various competitions, the organisations and associations like UEFA, like the Premier League, they all need to change from within and from the better. And of course, you've still got TV rights like Sky, BT. They need to sort out their priorities and sort things out in-house as well. But all these things can be sorted out tomorrow and going forward. For now, let's just enjoy this victory for what it is. Let's just enjoy the power of fans that we possess. We've won 2 battles now this season on pay-per-view models and this obviously is the bigger one, but it's still pretty huge the way that fans have all unified like this, all come together for the greater good and for booting out the billionaire plan of a European Super League. Of course, Spain and Italy, I think, are still yet to, at the time of recording, remove themselves from it, so it could still go ahead in some form, I guess. But what I do know is that England and the Premier League in particular will not be a part of it, and that is a victory for us, and we can only focus on us for right now. Tomorrow we wake up and begin to clear up this awful train wreck of a mess that they've left behind. Fingers crossed, it can only get better from here, and we can clean up this game for what it is and make it even better than what we believe it to be. But of course, as I always say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of all the teams going in and then pulling out of this European Super League 48 hours later? What do you make of the statements read by the clubs? I know I chose Liverpool's and Arsenal's in particular to focus on. I've not really seen the others. I know Man United's was allegedly pretty poor as well. I know Chelsea were playing tonight, so they are, at the time of recording, preparing their statements. I'd love to know what you guys think about all of this matters and what we need to do going forward. I'm going to make another video talking about what we need to do going forward and stuff like that, because obviously there's going to be a lot of fallout and a lot in the aftermath of this. But what we do know is that England's Premier League clubs will not be taking part in the European Super League. They have all pulled the parachute, performed a U-turn on this, and rightfully so. But of course, I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down in the comment section. I'm sure that all makes for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. Power of the fans won tonight. And I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.